your girl Stels. It's been a hot minute. I know, yeah. So many things have been going on in Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, everywhere around the world. And I was trying to like, okay, what trending topic should I talk about? I have some other things, piled up, but I just wanted to talk about something trendy. But that's for another video. Today, I'm going to give you tips on how to go about meeting your in-laws for the first time. It's not an easy feat. Like, I wish someone had told me what and what to do, how to act. Although I was more composed than I thought I would be, I give that matured vibes. So I'm here to coach you on how to behave or the things you should expect when you're going to see your in-laws. If you're down for that content, kindly subscribe. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, like my video, share my video, and drop something in the comment section. Tell me you love me, tell me you like what I'm doing, appreciate me now that I'm alive, appreciate me now when I day alive. Okay, so today we're going to talk about that. I said it previously, what to do, things to, be aware of when you're going to meet your parents in-laws, your intending in-laws. You're not married yet, so they're your intending in-laws. You're going to see them for the first time. Talking about the parents now, the siblings might be, I met my siblings online even prior to when I met them physically. I mean my husband's siblings online, which I already chatted on WhatsApp, we've already spoken on the phone before I went to meet them, before we met physically. But meeting the parents physically is a statement you want to make. That first impression, you don't want to kill it. As you don't want to ruin it, that's what I mean. You actually want to kill it, you want to make it good. So what should you expect and what should you give? It has to give. Every vibes you are presenting that day has to give. You have to be at your best, because this is an audition. If you don't know it, it's actually an audition. So I'll tell my story, then I'll tell my story alongside giving the tips. So first of all, as a lady, I'm talking about ladies now, because when my husband came to my house, he's a story to tell. Me, I was, the recipient. So he's a story to tell. Probably one day I'll bring him up to my channel and he will advise the dudes what they can do when they're going to see their parents-in-law for the first time. But some of the tips here can also help men who are also looking forward to meeting their, parents-in-laws for the first time. So now I'll start with, what are you wearing, girl? What are you wearing? First off, my husband's family is very religious. I'm not talking about religious that has to be, you have to wear mild makeup. Zero tolerance for makeup. Like, you shall not make up. But you don't have to be fake, because naturally I'm not even a makeup person. So I draw my eyebrows. Is it eyebrows or eyebrow? I always have that issue. I draw my eyebrow when I want to go out. So I wouldn't say I would now go barefaced and one day they see me draw my eyebrow and they'll be like, madam, when you came to us, you did not draw. So the first thing, before even I talk about dressing, is do not pretend. Do not pretend, because by the time you give up the vibes that you're a jovial person, you're a lovely person, and you get into the marriage and all of a sudden you're a mule, like you've gone back to your shell, they'll be like, oh, this girl pretended. I have such a situation. I know someone who, when she was coming to our family, like, everybody loved her. Like, everybody, not my family, it's just an example. Everybody loved her. Everybody, like, she was giving everybody pet names and all that. But after the whole thing, it was more like me and my husband, a nice situation. We know they hear anything about them again. So don't be like that. So what I did is I knew that my parents-in-laws or my husband's family, they were very religious. They had a strong Christian background. They had zero tolerance for makeup, but I just used my normal brown powder, my eye pencil, and my lip liner and my lip gloss. I wore earrings. They don't wear earrings in their household, but I don't, because I did not want to now show myself that I'm wearing earrings. I'm not gonna carry one big bangle and wear as earring. No, I just wore a normal small stud earring. Did my minimal makeup. I was on my natural hair. I thought it's a very strong Christian background. I don't have to go and provoke them. In as much as I want to be real, in as much as I want to show my true self, I don't have to provoke them to say to talk. So I could have even worn a wig or fixed my hair, but I know that I carry my natural hair on some occasion, on a lot of occasions anyways. So why do I have to do the opposite? And why do I have to now, because I want to go and show myself, I will now go and put myself inside trouble? You understand what I mean? So I was on my natural hair. I wore my little earrings. I did the minimal makeup. I wore a moderate skirt. It was not short. It was not too long. Moderate skirt, and yeah, that was what I wore. So getting there, I was even amazed because my husband is very humble. Like my husband very humble. He flew all the way from Lagos because I was in the east and his parents were also in the east, but we were in two different states. So he came all the way he flew down. Went to the airport to meet with him, and from there we went to see his parents. So like I said, I'll be telling my story at the same time giving the tips. Dress moderately. In as much, even if your parents-in-laws are the rich type, they are the type that they travel for vacation, they are fanciful, you still don't want to give up the vibe for the parents-in-law for the first time. Dress like your wife. You're going to audition for the role of your wife. If your boyfriend was coming to your house, these are the things you also tell him. Don't come and wear earring as a man to come and see my father, or don't come and, I'm not saying there's anything wrong there, I'm just saying that my own beliefs and my parents' beliefs will not even allow me to be in a relationship with such a person. Don't wear raggedy jeans. These are tips for men. Don't go empty-handed. Like, I don't know if it's a thing with my family, but there is no place my mom intends to go, like this kind of meetings, or maybe my mom is going to see a newborn, or she's going to see a newlywed couple, or she must carry something. She must buy, even if it's a bunch of bananas or apples, she would get something. So what I and my fiance did that day, from the airport we stopped at because he was from Imo State, so from the airport we stopped at ShopRite, and we bought groceries, provisions, and so we are carrying bags like, I am Batago now, we don't land, that kind of thing. So like I said, don't go empty-handed. So that was even an icebreaker, so when we got there, they were like, for us, like, yes sir, yes ma, so they took the bags in, the people around them took the bags in and all. So that was already an icebreaker. So like, how are you? The questions begin to roll in, and it was now a soft spot to start. So there was no like, me having a straight face waiting for them to talk to me, or should I ask how they are doing first and all. So getting something, already creates a room for, thank you, this is for you ma, please help us manage it. Those kind of back and forth. It also it spurs a conversation. So like I said, tip number 1, dress moderately. Tip number 2, get something. Don't go, it can even be flour. It depends on the kind of family you're going to see. If it's a family that you can get a bottle of wine, my husband's family, obviously you cannot get a bottle of wine for them. So if it's a family that you can get a bottle of expensive wine, or just get something, and then like I said, how do you act? Okay, we're back to that. How do you act? It depends on the vibe they give. If they are the talk a lot kind of family, go ahead and show them and say things don't talk out of context, because they might ask a question, or there might be a discussion on the table, and because you want to prove that you're knowledgeable, you end up disgracing yourself, embarrassing yourself with saying things that are not. I don't know if you've watched this Abraham's film, the one she lies a lot about where she has been. She has not traveled anywhere, but she lies a lot. She has been to she has been to New York in US. So many things that she has said that. So don't be in that category, and know where you're from. It's bad for you to introduce yourself, and they're asking you questions about your village, your community, and you cannot even talk about it. You don't have to be. I didn't grow up in the village. I only went to the east for work, and before going there, I had to ask my mom 1 or 2 questions, ask my dad 1 or 2 questions, and they. Some people might even go ahead and ask you, who is the king in your village? It depends on how villagey the family is, or how into culture the family is. So try and know more about your background. That's tip number 4 or 5 thereabouts. Know more about your background so that you don't act as if you're ignorant. You don't act as if you don't present the picture that you are not you don't know who you are or where you're from. So I'll also say, okay, now another question is should you do chores as a lady? Like if you go there, obviously maybe the man's mother is in the kitchen, should you go and join her in the kitchen? Should you carry the plates after eating? Should you wash the dishes? Should you immediately go to their laundry and start doing laundry, or carry broom and start sweeping? Yes and no. Okay, it depends. There are some households that maybe the parents are very, very rich, so you will not even see the mom going to the kitchen to dish the food or bring the food. They might have people, maybe chefs or house helps that will do that. So in that scenario, you don't have to go and join the house help to go and bring the food to the dining table, or join the house help in carrying the dishes to the kitchen. You don't have to do that, because if you do that, it's just like you're showing off. There are people already paid to do this. Just be polite and thank them for the meal. Thank them for the meal, so it doesn't look as if, one, you're ungrateful. So, well, in a situation whereby you see the mom going to the kitchen to prepare the meal, or maybe the sister, offer your help. Don't carry it on your head like, okay, I'm the wife, it's my responsibility to do it, I have to do it. Offer help. And if you're told, don't worry, kind of insist a little, and they're like, you're our guest now, don't worry, just lay off. Because there's this song, overthinking, no, they solve problem. So overdoing, no, they solve problem. Don't go overdo. When you go to the kitchen now, because you're fidgety, you break their plates. They will not forget you. That incident will just be there. First day you came to the house, you broke their plates. That's actually a calamity. So, like I said, if it's a situation where either you see the sister or the mom, going to the kitchen to prepare something for you guys to eat, or just offer. If you decline, try and do small gra and you see that, can I? Say, no, don't worry. Just day your day. Don't do pauti and rush to the kitchen. Some people, even on the first day, you see them say, Mama, let me help you sweep this place now. If your power can, go ahead. But I feel it's kind of eye service, and in the way you're trying to make them feel like, if your place is not clean, let me clean it for you. Obviously, they're expecting guests, they're expecting you. Their house ought to have been clean before you stepped into the place. So they might actually do it to test you, to see if you. So it depends on you, to be honest. Let me tell you my own story. So when it was time for meal, after the whole we were chit-chatting and it was time for meal, my mother-in-law got into the kitchen, and I was like, I told my husband that I want to go and help her. He said, okay. My fiance then, my boyfriend, we've not been engaged then. So they're like, okay, fine, no problem. So I went into the kitchen, and she was like, no. She personally took me out of the kitchen and brought me back and told me, don't worry, I should sit down. So I sat down. I know life stress. So after I sat down, while she was bringing the meal, I stood up again to go and collect the meal from her, and I brought to the table. And after we had finished eating, I cleared the table with her. And when I got to the kitchen, after dropping the dishes, I tried to wash the plates. I already put on the tap to wash the plates, and she was like, no. And after eating, I should go and relax. Don't worry. I said, Mom, and I insisted, Mom, let me help. She said, no, don't worry. She's kind like that. I can't help it. So, and I went back to my boyfriend, and we started gisting. So I did not do any other thing. So he took me on a tour. It's a very, very big house. I can't lie. I can actually get missing in the house. Those kind of places where they use as palace. And of course, I was asked where I'm from. I had to go, Ijile Bam Bam. I had to go to my roots. To talk about where I'm from. Now, what do your parents do? Because these things are important inquiries. You don't just take them for granted, or you just talk about it shallowly. You go into the details and tell them everything so that they don't get surprised later. Or, for example, your dad is a security man and you tell them that my dad is an information security specialist. Bruh. Tell them the truth so that you don't. It's better for you to be plain, and either they accept you for who you are than for you to lie, and eventually they catch you in the lie and they're like, I'll get a lie. So like I said, asked what my parents do. I told them. Then I started talking about my childhood, where I grew up. Obviously, I didn't grow up in the East. So I told them that I grew up in Lagos, also part of Lagos. I'm actually staying in the East because of work. Spoke to them a little bit about my beliefs. I'm a Christian. I work at so organization, and yeah, these are the things they want to know. How we met. Okay, we didn't really go into details. I and my husband, we didn't really want to start going into details with that. Just we met through a friend, which is a story. I think I said that story in one of my videos. So how we met, and that was basically what they asked about. And the as Christians, obviously, have you prayed about this relationship? Did God speak to you about the relationship? And back and forth like that. So should you sleep over? That is another question, that some people have said, like, should I sleep over? It depends though. In our situation, I didn't sleep over because it was on a Sunday and I had work on Monday. But if it was like on a Saturday, I might have, because there are two different states. I was staying in Abia State and they were in Imo State. I was working in Umuahia at the time. So I would have actually spent the night if I was there on a Saturday. I wouldn't be there. My intending in-laws are living there and go and book a hotel and stay. But if it's a place like you are all in the same state, like where you're living and where they are in the same state, my friend, go home. What are you going to sleep there for? Or in a situation whereby some people meet through occasions, like maybe one of the family members is throwing a party and you're invited. That's how they get to meet their parents in some cases. And maybe after the whole party, people are you can have the liberty to spend the night. That one is a different thing. But you came for that purpose of introduction. Go to your house. What are you spending the night for? I think I said every other thing on my list. So try and catch eye contact with them. Don't shy away, because they want to really know your intentions towards their son. They want to know, are you a gold digger? Are you a winch? Are you someone that doesn't know how to be a wife? You don't know how to keep a home. So, but if you're confident, if you're giving eye contact, like they're talking to you, you're looking to them in the face, I had a problem growing up, actually. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to my friends now, but people used to accuse me of staring at them. That was how high my confidence level has always been as a child. Like, you can be talking to me at the idol, I'm looking at your face. There was a time I was in a bank, one lady came to meet me and she asked me, why am I staring at her? I didn't even know I was staring, because I actually have big eyeballs. So I didn't even know I was staring at her, So my confidence level from childhood has always been high. I don't know how that came about. Like, if you see me talking to people that are bigger than me or huge, so I've always had that thing in me. So, like I said, be confident, know what you're talking about. Do not lie about anything. Do not lie about what you do. If you're not working, my guy, don't just go and say, there's a way people should say that, I'm an entrepreneur. You're not any entrepreneur. You're not doing anything at the moment. Preferably, tell them what you studied in school. If you are not working, if you're a lady that you're going to see your in-laws, you're not working, and you study sociology, tell them that. I studied sociology. Just knock them with a degree. I studied sociology from Lagos State University, and I'm in hopes to get a good job. You can say that, or I don't know how you want to phrase it, but don't go and lie, and don't form irrelevant. There are some people where, because maybe they're not doing anything, they will now form irrelevance, like I don't have work, or no. If there are things you've volunteered for in the past, talk about your accomplishment, talk about your achievements. Let them see you as somebody. All right. So with that, I would like to wrap up this video and say thanks for tuning in. It's actually a short video because there's really nothing much to say about it, but I believe these tips can help someone, and it should help someone, because these are actually valuable tips. Some people just go with the mindset that I want to go impress, and they go and do a lot, and they end up being talked about. There's actually this one lady. I don't know if I should say this story. There's actually this one lady that tried to impress us, and she cooked one spaghetti that I can never forget in my entire life. you know. That was the first time I learned that spaghetti was being called pasta, you know, and that spaghetti was the worst spaghetti I've ever eaten in my entire life. But because she wanted to marry a husband, from my family now, she wanted to marry a husband, she came and she cooked the food. You do not even, guy, you're just coming into the house. You've not been there several times. You're just being introduced and you offer to cook food. And you cook nonsense. Don't overdo. That's just a summary of all of that. Don't overdo. With this, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. Please like this video, share this video, and encourage me in the comment sections. Also give some tips and tell me your experience, how it was as a lady going to see your in-laws for the first time. Till I catch you again, I remain Stells. Bye.